Hi friends, it's Chef Susan from Sage. Today I'm going to make some baked macaroni and cheese. I know everybody loves it, I sure do. So let me get started with showing you what we need. We will need a pound of macaroni or any pasta of your choice, 2 cups of milk, 1/4 cup of flour, 1/4 cup of butter, salt and pepper to taste, about 1 cup of American cheese, 1 cup of shredded cheddar jack mix, and a little bit extra for the topping, and then a baking pan and aluminum foil. I'm going to start with boiling about 3 gallons of water for our pasta. We're going to cover that so we can come up to a boil fast, and then we'll get started with the cheese sauce. To start, I'm going to make a roux. A roux is cooked butter and flour. We're going to put that in the pan, get it started, and then we'll go from there. I'm going to start melting the butter in the pan, and when that gets nice and liquidy, we're going to add the flour and cook it. Okay, my butter's hot and melted. I'm going to add the flour and I'm going to stir it. Now a roux, you want the butter and the flour to completely incorporate and come together looking almost like a really loose dough. And you're going to cook it for a little while, because what you're doing here is this is used to thicken your sauce. So you want it to the glutens to get together so you can really have a nice thick creamy sauce. Okay, so I've cooked this roux for about 4 minutes, so it's nice and incorporated. And now I'm going to add the milk. So when I add the milk, I want to make sure I keep stirring, because I don't want it to get too lumpy. We're going to make sure it comes off the sides, and we're going to cook this. We're going to keep it on a medium to medium low heat, because we don't want it to scorch and we don't want it to bubble over. We just want it to get nice and thick. So we'll just keep stirring. You want to make sure the roux is all incorporated. And then we just wait. It'll just take a few minutes. Okay, so we're going to wait till it comes up and it starts to thicken. We're also going to then let it cook together. Make sure it's nice and thick, and make sure you cook the roux out, because you don't want a gritty, floury, pasty taste. Okay, so our water is just about ready to put the pasta in, and this is the time I like to salt my water. You want to salt it because you want the pasta to have a nice flavor. And you don't want to salt it too early before the water's boiling, because you don't want the salt sitting at the bottom of your pan and staining your pan. Water's boiling, all salted. I'm going to add my pasta. I'm going to make sure I stir it occasionally so it doesn't stick. And then I'm going to take it out and drain it when I'm done. You don't have to make sure the pasta is completely al dente is perfect for what we're doing, because it's going to cook a little more in the cheese sauce when we bake it in the oven. Okay, our cream sauce is ready to start adding the cheese. The milk is thickened, the roux is all incorporated. I am going to start by adding, this is a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder mix. I just like to make sure we get a little seasoning. I always add just a little, and then at the end I'll add more, because you don't want it to get too salty depending on what your cheese is like. So we're going to add in small batches some of the American cheese. I'm going to put it in, and we're going to stir and let it melt, and we're going to keep the flame on low so we're not scorching it. And now we're just trying to build the flavors and build that delicious cream sauce that we all like in our mac and cheese. To the pan to melt. The other half, I'm going to wait till I have the pasta all ready. I'm going to stir that in and let it melt. One other thing we could be doing while we're waiting for everything to cook is take butter and just butter our pan that we're going to cook it in, to help everything from not sticking. The cheese that I'm adding right now is into it. I'm going to just taste it just to check the seasoning. Tastes good. You might need to add a little bit more salt and pepper if you'd like. This tastes good to me right now. Okay, the pasta's ready. I'm going to dump it. I'm going to run some cool water so I don't steam myself and give myself a facial. Get all the pasta out. We don't really need to cool it down like normal, because we're going to put it right back into the warm cheese sauce. So now I just want to make sure it's all drained. Okay, so I'm going to dump my pasta right into the pan with the cheese sauce. I've preheated my oven to 375 degrees. So I'm going to mix the pasta into the cheese sauce. And now's the time when that extra cheese I held back, I'm going to pour it in. So we have a nice cheesy baked mac and cheese. So I'm just going to stir it, make sure it's all incorporated. And next I'm going to pour it into the pan. Okay, so now we're going to pour it into the pan that we're going to bake it in. Make sure we scrape all the cheesy goodness out. Don't want to miss any of that. So we'll just even it out in the pan. I'm going to sprinkle it on top so we have a nice gooey cheesy coating. We'll put the foil on it. We're going to put it in a 375 degree oven, bake it for about 40 minutes. Then we're going to take the aluminum foil off and cook it for another 10 minutes so the top gets nice and brown. Okay, so the timer is done. Mac and cheese is ready. Take it out. You can smell the cheesy deliciousness. Okay, so now all that's left is to let it cool down for a few minutes and enjoy. Thanks for watching.